You are welcome wherever you are. This is Introduction to Web Development by Dr. Engineer P.O. Ajiwole. I'm going to take you through this introduction to serve as a foundation for this web design skill training. And I congratulate you if you find yourself watching this video, as the introduction I'm going to give you will serve as a very powerful foundation upon which you are going to build, whether you are a novice or you are an intermediate developer or you are an advanced developer. You are welcome. Now let's start, in order not to waste time. What is a website? When you're talking about website, you're actually talking about content. It's about content. You want to showcase something for the world to see. Now, the content can be text, something you type, or a graphic, maybe a photo, a picture. Like on Facebook, we have a lot of pictures on Facebook. It's a content. It can be a video, or an audio mark. On Spotify, we have a lot of videos, audios there. They are content. On YouTube, we have videos. They are content. So when you combine this content together and you host the content on a computer, but your content can be viewed any part in the world, that is a website. Combination of different contents which are hosted on the computer but can be viewed anywhere in the world through the internet. So we can say that a website consists of one or more pages that are linked together. You go from one page to the other. From maybe you're on the home page, you can click on contact so that you can see the contact of the organization that owns the site. And the computer on which we host the site is called a web server. So I can build a site in Nigeria and the server can be located in US. So that means the website that I've built here, I'm hosting it on a remote server which is in another part of the world. So that is what we mean by a web. I'm still going to talk more about server as we continue. Now, why will you build a website? What is the purpose of building a website? A website can be a school portal. It can be a training website. Like I have a training site where I train people. I upload my videos there. You can just make information available for the public, like most of the government websites. And the website can be like a social, a search engine or a social network like Facebook. So you can build websites for different purposes. As a developer, you can be hired to build any kind of website, and you should be ready for the task. So that is why you find yourself in this training. Now let's talk about the server and the client. What is a server? Like I said, I'm going to talk about server. What is a client? The computer where you host a website is what we refer to as a web server. The server can be located in any part of the world. And somebody looking at your website can also be located in any part of the world. The person that is looking at your site, browsing your site, is what we refer to as client. We call them clients. So the computer on which the person is browsing your site is also called client. So both the person and the computer are clients. But your website is hosted on a web server somewhere in any part of the world. But the technology that brings the client looking at your site and your site where it is located, the technology bringing them together is the internet. So the internet stands in between the client and the server. I hope you understand that. You host your site on a server. A client looks at your site using his browser, but the person needs internet to connect to your site where your website is hosted. That is Just simple as that. So that would bring us to the concept of a web browser. Now, in this course, I would recommend that you install 3 or more browsers in your system, because when you build your site, you have to check how the site will be displayed in different kinds of browser, because you don't know the browser that your clients or people may use to browse your site. And a browser is a software or an application that connects a user to a web page online. And when somebody opens a browser, you are going to type the web address of where you want to browse. That web address, we call it Uniform Resource Locator. For example, www.google.com, www.yahoo.com, they are all URLs, Uniform Resource Locator. You can also call them domain name. I'm going to talk about domain name later. You can also call it web address. So it's the same thing. URL, web address, domain name, they are the same thing. So once the person launches his browser, he types the address in the browser, and the internet will search for the web server that has that URL. So that is how it works. There are different approaches to designing website. I'm going to talk about the 3 approaches that I have in this training. Though we are going to focus on only one, that is C. Now, the A is website builder. The second one is web design with CMS. And the last one, which will be our focus in this training, is web design with core technologies. Though we are going to look at CMS briefly as part of this training. Now, you can design and develop a website by using what we refer to as website builder. There are many sites and online tools like Wix.com. Wix.com, when you go there, is an online platform. Let me see if I can get to Wix.com. Wix.com. Okay, this is Wix.com. Create a website without limits. So when you get started, it's going to give you interface that has drag and drop tools. You just drag, drop, under 5 minutes, your site is ready. And so, but you cannot be a professional using this method because you are limited in what you can do. You can't build a school portal or e-commerce website with, well, you can build, but it will be limited. That's just the truth. Then not only that, you cannot customize the site to your taste. And the worst part is, you are permanently tied to the web builder platform. So like this Wix.com, you depend on them. You'll be paying monthly, yearly, you'll be subscribing. Yet, if you need anything special, you pay. Maybe you need a form processing. I'm just saying it. I'm not sure whether that happens here. Or you need a kind of plugin to handle payment, whatever. You may have to pay more. So that is the problem with this kind of method. So we are not doing this. Let's go to the second method. That is web design with CMS. What is CMS? CMS simply means content management system. So I do use CMS, and I'm going to take us through CMS briefly in this training, because CMS has a major advantage, and that is maintainability. It makes site maintenance easy. But there are some sites I build, I will just create login for the owner of the site, and I will ask them that if you want to change picture, change anything, you can do it yourself. I've just showed them how to do it within 5 minutes, train them how to do it, and that is done. But there is a limit to what you can do. Though another advantage of CMS is that you don't need to write code. You don't need to write JavaScript, HTML, CSS, Python, or whatever code. So all you need to do is to focus on your content. And there are a lot of these CMS. We have WordPress, we have Joomla, we have Moodle, we have Google Blogger. These are common CMS. And I'm going to take time to take us through WordPress and Google Blogger. It's very important. So what they do is that the CMS comes with a lot of packages that you install either offline. You can do it offline. You can install it online when you want your site to be live. So you install the CMS. The CMS will handle the design, the layout, all the server-side code. It's going to handle it. You will not write any code. So all you focus on is to put your content on the site. By the time we start learning it, you understand more. So it is very fast building a site with this method. And I told you maintainability, ability to maintain the site in an easy way is the major advantage. But you can't customize the site to your taste. It will be hard. You can do it, but it will be very hard if you don't know PHP. This PHP is a programming language that we used to learn in those days. It's still very popular. Many developers still use PHP. And another thing about PHP is all these CMS, WordPress, Joomla, Moodle, Google Blogger, Magento, PrestaShop, WooCommerce, all of them, they were built with PHP because PHP is one of the oldest programming language we use for web development. So if you know PHP, congratulations. You can modify your CMS, you can customize it to your taste. But another problem is you may be forced to buy some add-ons, some templates, some themes. There are millions of people using WordPress, for example, to build websites. If you are not careful, your site may look similar to somebody else's site because you have access to the same free template, free themes. But if you want your site to look special or more professional, you may have to be buying and be subscribing yearly, monthly to add-ons, plugins, and themes. So I see that as a disadvantage. I'm not ready for that. That's why I have to learn all the technologies that I need to put up a site from scratch to finish on my own. With only CMS, you cannot still be referred to as a professional web developer. I think you don't want that. You don't want to be called a half-baked web developer. So that is why we will not dwell on CMS. Now let's look at the third one. In the next video, I will continue explaining web design with core technologies. Thank you for listening.